This is Scuba Steve here, and welcome to Understanding the Ducttape Deathmatch, Part 2. Now first, what exactly is the Ducttape Deathmatch? It is a race where you duct tape your hand to the steering wheel, and you're only allowed a certain amount of steering angle. Now, in my research, I was looking for an origin for it. Where did it actually come from? I did not actually find one. I couldn't figure out a real-life example of where it comes from. The earliest example is Initial D. What I did find is that there's actually two different people who actually have used this technique. One, his name is Timo Salonen. He was a rally racer from Finland. The other racer is a guy named Chris Hacker. Apparently he started racing when he was 8 years old, and he has an injury that caused nerve damage to his left arm, so he only uses his one hand to steer the car. Now, in doing this video, I'm using 3 different books for resources. The 2-Speed Secrets from Ross Bentley, and the Skip Barber Racing School book, Going Faster. So I'll be making references during this video for that. So the first one is we're going to be looking at the benefits of less steering. What are the benefits? Well, in this book, on page 50, it says this. Think about this. Turning the wheel is a terrible thing to do to a car. It slows the car down. When you turn the steering wheel, the front wheels actually begin to scrub speed because they're an angle to the direction you're going. The closer you drive to the limit, the more you control the direction of the car with the weight transfer, and the less you change the direction with the steering wheel. It's at this point that you realize just how much turning the front wheels slows the car down. Turning functions as a brake. Page 48. Minimum steering movement should be your goal. Page 16. The speed secret. The less you turn the steering wheel, the faster you will go. Next technique we're going to be looking at is the left foot braking. On page 240 of this book, it says this. Smooth braking transitions from the straight into a fast sweeping corner may require developing the new talent of braking with the left foot so as to minimize the sharp transition of load that occurs with a full throttle lift to get over to the brake pedal. Page 66 and 67 of this book says, braking with the left foot is superior for a few reasons. Number 1, left foot braking allows you to alter the speed of the car without upsetting the balance as much. It's easier to drive smoothly. Anytime you drive smoother, upsetting the balance less, the higher its traction limits will be, and that means you can drive faster. Left foot braking also saves time in the transition from throttle to braking to throttle. In fact, it's possible to actually overlap the end of braking with the beginning of acceleration so that there is no delay at all. If done correctly, the shifting weight balance will be seamless. It keeps the car better balanced. So left foot braking also helps keep the front loaded with weight being transferred to the front tires, which helps the car turn in more responsively. Now in the Ducttape Deathmatch, the stability is extremely important. We're going to be covering 2 different types of cars, the front drive car and a rear drive car. Now it's important to balance as much as possible, oversteer and understeer. It's basically like a seesaw effect. You don't want too much understeer, you don't want too much oversteer. Now in a front drive car like a Honda Civic, this is what it says here on page 72. It says a front drive car responds eagerly to throttle application. In front drive cars, adding power and opposite lock drives the front end of the car over in front of the rear. A front drive car tends to create understeer with gradual throttle application. Again, just like rear wheel drive, lift off the throttle will change the handling toward oversteer. Okay, so on this one, on front drive cars, you want to enter the corner, but you're going to leave a 5% safety margin. And the remaining 5% you're going to be using for acceleration stability toward the end of the corner. Next, we're going to be dealing with the rear drive cars like an 8.6. And page 64 says this: when sensing oversteer in a rear-wheel drive car, sometimes it's good to settle the rear. Transfer weight onto the rear tires. You do this with throttle application, just a little bit. By squeezing on the power about 30% or so, you move the load to the rear end and cancel the abrupt snap of the brakes. Now this is extremely, you can actually do this with left foot braking, but it helps stabilize the rear end. Okay, so the first time we actually hear about the Ducttape Deathmatch, we hear about it from Shingo Shoji. Now his personality, he's the type of that is like the charger. He tends to either win or crash. His bravery is his key word. Now it's interesting to note, at least in the initial D, that Bunta, he had actually done the deathmatch a long time ago, and even then he still drives with from time to time with one hand. Now there are some parallels between the Ducttape Deathmatch episode with Takumi and Shingo, and also Ryosuke versus Hojo with the Shinigami car, the GTR, how they actually use the slopes or the banks. Another parallel with left foot braking, at least, is with Takumi and Shingo using left foot braking, and then Takumi when he raced against Kogashiwa. That's a good race to watch. So we've discussed the actual theories behind the Ducttape Deathmatch, but now we're actually going to do the application of it, the actual driving test for it. We're going to be doing one lap on the Tokyo Express South Inner Loop against 20 cars. The tires that are on the car right now is going to be sports hard tires. First we're going to be testing one lap with the Civic, and then we're going to be doing another lap with the Trueno, the 8.6.